Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Beginner to Expert. This is part 20 Angular 7 tutorial. So in this session I will discuss about the Angular package, and this is basically continuation of part 19. Now today I will show you how do we configure the action buttons. So let's get started. So as I already have done, I'm just summarizing the things how far we have done. So here we configured you know from parent, sorry, this is our parent user component HTML. Here we are actually passing the grid data source, that is two-dimensional array, and little bit of style, okay, and that is string. So depending on this style, B2E grid will be, I mean to say, that drawn in the HTML. Okay, so and here also I used ng class and looping through each data rows, and here data headers. So those are the things we have done. So today I will change the class, and a little bit, because I need this time that sorting icon of the header will be reconfigurable, and also the class also will be fully configurable. So that is why I will change this t style as an object instead of string. So here you can check that t class table class will be like this, and sort class will be like, here I have created styls. I have created some custom generic class for sorting. So I will pass the class name c hyphen I, means custom icon, okay, and also I will pass the right, sorry, I want up and down arrow. So up and down arrow is there, up, okay. So this shortcut class will have two, means one object. That object will have two property, up and down, okay. So that is why I'm bringing here up and down. So instead of up I will pass the down class name. So now if we go to the B2E grid class, here I will change little bit. The T style will have now T class property, okay. So here I will set one icon tag, and here I will pass ng class like up and down. So here T style, that is the main object. T style will have the sort class object, and sort class will have up and down. So here I will pass up, okay. Now if I save the code, if I reload the page, open the browser, okay, let's see that icon is coming or not. No far. Okay, need to check the what are the things we missed out. Here we am passing, oh, okay. So actually I made a mistake. As we are passing object, so we have to decorate the t style as an attribute, okay. So if we pass a simple string, then no need to decorate the means input with the bracket, okay. So that is a missed out. Now if I save and reload the page, sorry, unauthorized, Here you can check that whatever style we have done so far, so that style now came. Now the next thing, that icon class is not coming. Okay, here also I messed out because I am using the variable one, so that is why you need to decorate the main input with the bracket. Okay, so if I reload the page, now you can check that icon also is coming. Okay, now next step to how to how to configure this icon depending on the sorting. Okay, so first time it won't be visible any sorting. So if user click a particular column, that time on that column sort will be visible, that icon will be visible depending on the sort direction. Okay, so how do you configure that? Now if I go to here, first of all I need one input, okay, from user. So whether uh, means other component really wants the sorting or not. Okay, so each sort, so this would be like boolean, and by default will be like true. Okay, so if this boolean, and this is an optional, okay, input, if user doesn't pass any sort variable, then by default it will be enabled. So here I will check that if I go to between grade, that ng class will be applicable here if sort is is turned on, then otherwise the class will be blank. Okay, now save the page. So as I told you, by default it is turned on. Now if I make it false, then you can check that icon will not be visible. So let me pass from the parent one. So here I will pass that is sort. I don't want any sort. Sorry, syntax mistake. Okay, so here you can check the sort is not visible. Now if I pass true, then the sort will be, icon will be visible. Okay, so in this way we can configure the sorting, means we can turn on the sort of the table. Okay, now I am not passing the sort, so by default it would be like true. Okay, now next step I will consider one private variable, is sorted. Okay, so this would be boolean, and by default it would be like false. Okay, already sorted or not. Now next step I will attach one event, that would be like click event, and I will pass one method on sort, and I will pass also the parameter like column, so in which column user is clicking. So here I will declare the sort event and will pass column, which will be type grid model, which we prepared as last time. So here I will check if is sorted applied or not. This dot is sorted. If already sorted, then what I will do, column dot. So that column is having sort direction. Here I kept one property that is called sort direction, and this is an optional and a string type. So by default, if any sort column is there, means sort direction is there, then I will check over here. If it is ASC, then it will be toggle like DESC. So DESC means descending order, DESC, and otherwise it will be like ASC. Okay, so now this is like second time. Okay, so else if user click the first time, so that time the sort order will be false. Okay, because I already initialized with boolean value false, and here I will do if user is doing the sort of the column first time, then I will assign it by default ASC, and I will reassign the value that true. That means is sorted. So second time, if user click on the column, that time it would be like here it will already it is sorted, and it will check the sort direction. So second time will come as ASC. Okay, ASC is condition true, then it will assign the sort direction as descending. Okay, so this way it will be happen. Here I change the ng class. See here each column will have sort direction, so here I am checking the sort direction is ASC or not. If it is ASC, then I am taking the class here sort class, that T style will have sort class and up. Okay, so here I am create means I have given question mark, because if user doesn't provide any style, okay, this style user not providing, or T or short class is not providing. Okay, so in that scenario it will it will throw an error. Okay, here also you can put a question mark. Okay, so each property of the object should have some other property. Okay, if it is there, then only we can access the other property, otherwise it will throw an error. That is why this exception actually I am handling. Okay, so now save the page and open the browser. Here first time it is no it is not having any sort icon. Okay, that means sort is not applied. Okay, first time. Now if I click user ID, see here first time actually it is checking that sort is sorted false. Now it came else part and assigned ASC. Okay, and if it is ASC sort direction, then I am appending the class edge up arrow. Now if I click again, so it become down arrow. That means this is already sorted. Here actually it is coming, and direction was ASC. Now it will become DSC. Okay, so again if you click, then it will behave like this. Okay, up and down. Okay, now my sort icon is implemented. Now next thing, to implement the order of the column value. Okay, so how do we achieve that? Here after icon changed, I will write on logic here, this dot whatever data source actually came in the grid, I will look through on that data rows. I don't want any header sorting, so I want only the body data rows. So here I will write sort. So as okay, let me check that data rows actually is an array or not. Okay, because otherwise it will throw an error. So here if it is data rows, then in JavaScript sort method is there. Okay, here we can pass b comma a. So what is b comma a? B is the second object of an array, and a is the first object of an array. Okay, so if you are not familiar with the sort, please go through Google and check the definition of the sort. Okay, so here I will write return b of 0. As I told you, the data row is an actually two-dimensional array. Okay, two-dimensional array. So each column, each row will have column array. Okay, so this b and a nothing but in column array. Okay, so I am considering first index of the column. Okay, so here display value was there minus you know b. Now I need to check which direction. Okay, now what is the direction of the column name? Okay, so whenever if you click any column, there I am checking the direction. Okay, if it is ascending order, then there will be like a minus b. Otherwise it will be like b minus a. Okay, so this piece of code help us to sort the data of a column. Okay, here if you click user id, now you can check that okay, so arrow is up, that means it should be ascending order. Okay, so what we need to do here, desc we need to check. So now if I click user id, the descending order sorry, ascending order it is indicating. Now if arrow is down, that means descending order. Okay, so this way we can do. So now if I click email also it is working. Okay, now I will open the console and we'll check how it is working. B2E grid component, here refresh the page. If I click user id, first time it checked the false. Now it became so no sort direction was there. Now sort direction is ascending order. Okay, and it is already sorted. Now it will come in this place. So data rows, that 100 rows, each row is having the column array. Okay, so I'm considering the first column, and first column with the property display value. Okay, so this is user id and this is email. So each column will have the first index, and first column will have the display value. Okay, so if you come down here, you can check that a and b. A is nothing but the email column, sorry, here user id, and b also a column array. Okay, now it will sort and return. So you can check. Now again if I click, then each sorted already true. Now it will come inside the if block. Then sort direction was first time ascending, now it became descending. Now it will sort the way data rows. Now if I press Fn, then you can check the data rows. Now user id you can check the display value is 100. that means it is already sorted. Okay, so this way we can easily implement the sort part. Okay, now question may comes to your mind that this is kind of client side sorting. Okay, so I want the server side sort is will be applicable in this grid. Okay, okay, that is true, and I will show you how do we configure client side sorting as well as the server side sorting. Okay, so to achieve that scenario I will use another more input. Okay, is server sort. Okay, that by default will be like false. So if it is not provided by the parent component, so client will apply the grid will apply the client side sorting. Okay, so here I will check this dot is server sort. Sorry, if not server sort, then if not server sort, that means you know client sort logic. Else what I will do, bid means b2e grid component will broadcast one event to parent that user has clicked this column, and this is the column information. Now parent component will decide how parent component will call the service. Okay, and B2E grid component is responsible to send only the column information like sort direction and column name. Okay, depending on that, server side will write a logic, so in which column actually user wants to apply the sorting and in which direction. Okay, so to raise an event I will consider one output. As we know, to share data between child to parent we need to use the output decorator, and here I will write the decorator name like on sort, and the decorator li should be sort event, which will be like event emitter, and that would be like uh, grid model, and by default I will create the instance of the event emitter, and here it is asking is asynchronous. Yes, true. Okay, so this sort event will have one method that is called next. Okay, so this next is asking me to send the value which is type of grid model, and this is an optional. Okay, so here I will pass the column, that is column is type of grid model. Okay, here you can check. Okay, so now I need to receive that event in the parent. So here is my parent component. So here I will receive an event. So as it is an event, so I have to decorate the name with the parenthesis. Okay, so here okay, so here also write on sort on column sort. Okay, write on column sort. Whatever data is coming from child we need to capture by using by passing dollar event, and this is an predefined object, object, or you can say event. Now I will open the user component. Here public. Okay, so here I will pass the call info as grid model. Here I will write the console dot log call info. Okay, save all the page. Now refresh the page. Okay, now if I press user ID, that means that client side actually sorting actually applied. Okay, because I have not provided any input to the grid model. Okay, whether it would be like server sort or not. Now I will pass that as an input, uh, and I am telling to B2E grid I want the server sort to be applied. Okay, so now if I click user ID, okay, check that event is raising from the child to parent. Okay, so here DB column name is user ID. That means user has clicked on the DB column name, I means user ID column, and sort direction will be like ascending order. Okay, now if I press name, then the name column will come. Okay, now again if I press name, then descending order, but column name is name. Okay, so this way now the parent will call the service with the required information like column name and the direction. Okay, so depending on that, server will write the logic. Okay, now again if I make it false, or I not passing any the boolean flag, so that will be client side sorting. Okay, okay, now next I will show you the option column. Okay, so that user column should have the option like edit or delete. So in that scenario also, I will pass the data to parent. Okay, so if user click on that edit or delete, so which button actually is user is clicking, depending on that parent will decide whether I will call the service for edit, or whether I will call the service for delete the user. Okay, now I uh, I added one extra column that is called options, and here also I added one extra TD column, you can say, in the T body. Okay, now save the page and reload the browser again. Here you can check that option column is visible. Okay, but sometimes what we need, actually sometimes we need this grid will be means will be used as an edit sorry read only mode. So in that scenario, no actions no options column will be available. Okay, so in order to configure the options, we need to read the information from parent. Okay, whether the user needs the option column or not. Okay, to achieve that, I will use over here another one input boolean, that is options. Okay, so here I will pass true. So by default it would be like true. So if I go to B2E grid component, here input this boolean value, and this would be like an optional boolean, and by default would be false. Okay, so by default it is false. Now I will check first in the grid component HTML whether we need it or not. Star ng, if the options, then it will be visible, otherwise it no. Save all the pages and reload the browser again. Here you can check it is visible. Okay, once I put false, or if I don't provide any input each options, then it won't be visible. Okay, here you can check it is not visible. Now if I if I don't provide it, then also it won't be visible. Okay, now let's say it is visible. So by default, what are the options will be there? It is actually now uh, at, at the moment I will hard code the options list like edit, delete. So in future, in we can extend this options column fully configurable uh, by passing the array of the column, okay, from the parent. So that thing also we can extend. If you want, then we can extend this video in later session. Okay, so here I will pass like anchor tag, edit, and here delete class will be like, if I pass the class name from here, so button set class and option button set class here. Okay, I will pass for edit btn. This button list, these classes are from bootstrap 4. So but btn primary, and whatever class you need, you just need to pass it. And here for delete I will pass the same. Instead of primary I will pass the danger, so it will become red. So I will use this class in the grid component over here. Ng class button set, and before that what I need to do, that t style actually is our input. So t style will have this object, and this object will have that edit. Okay, as we are passing from the parent, so here edit, and another is the delete. Okay, so now these two button will be visible. Okay, let me re-log in it. Okay, here you can check that I want this that to be danger, sorry, delete. Okay, so here in this way, and here I will change the style little bit, because I don't want the round circle of the round corner, and you know and padding should be there in between the buttons. So for that, what I can pass it, like uh, RUND rounded 0, and okay, so this would be rounded 0, so it will help us to make it flat, not round. And here I will add padding left 3. Okay, so right side button will okay, margin left. Okay, here you can check now that style also is applied. Okay, and I want the color will be like white, text white. Okay, now if I click on those buttons, I want one event to be triggered to the parent, so that parent can get to know, okay, which button is clicked and for what purpose. Okay, so here I will register one button on event, one event on click option. Okay, and I will pass the column info. This column info will help us to identify which column is clicked. Okay, and here I will pass the option like edit. Okay, here I'll pass the same thing. Instead of edit, I will use the delete one. Now I will register this event in the component. First one is call info, which will be like grid model type, and another is purpose, will be a string type. And here I will register another output, another another one output is required. Here option event on option click. Okay, so here what we can do, this grid model. So here this column object we can't access, because this TD actually outside, or out of scope of this first TD. Okay, the data column. So because here I am using the scope variable like late, so that late variable will be only inside this TD. So what we can do to get that, we need this column array. Here I will pass, and from grid component here, that would be like an array, and I will consider the zero index of the, so there would be like 5 6 column. Okay, so whatever column means, as user is clicking the, the radio of, sorry, as user is clicking the row. Okay, so I want the row information means that row will have one id, so depending on that id only we can do the other operation. So that is why any of the column will have that id. Okay, so here I'll pass the first column. Okay, now save the page and reload it again. Now you just click the edit. So here you can check the call array whole is coming. Okay, so once I press OK, then if I go to the console, here you can check that information. Okay, so in this way, okay, here also you can, if you click the delete, then call information call for is coming like delete. So in this way you can enhance the grid. Okay, so you can add the pagination as well, and add the whatever option you need as per your requirement, you can customize it. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the day. Please try it by yourself, and if you have any queries, please don't forget to put a comment in the comment section below. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.